Dear ones, I am Archangel Michael. Today we are going to finalize part of the matters relating to the soul. When I finished the video yesterday, we were left with a question: do souls lose their human clothing at the right time or not? This is a question that has been on your mind for a long time. Some things have already been said, some correct, others not so much. So going back to that moment when the soul is doing the interview with the karmic council and is defining what its next incarnation will be, what good will it bring to this planet, since we are talking about you, what evolution it will bring, what evolution it will bring to the environment and to itself. So all of this is defined in that script for that film that she is putting together to act in during her incarnation. So the soul defines profession, defines relationships, defines family, defines place of birth, defines day of birth, defines everything. Everything is defined, everything is very well noted, so that the itinerary is followed as perfectly as possible. Very good. At this moment, the soul also decides whether it wants to remain until the end of its human clothing, or whether it wants to cross over, halfway through, or if you want to die soon. Finally, some decisions are made. Some souls are predisposed to only be lesson souls. Like this? How do all miss lessons? They are those souls, which are attached to the clothes, but are never born, are those babies who die before birth. No, I'm not talking about abortion here, I am here talking about the natural death of a baby, that is, that soul was already attached to that being that was being generated, but it was not effectively incorporated because that garment was extinguished before incarnation. Why is that? Lessons. Lessons that mother, that father, those family members, would have to pass on. I will not go into this, as each case is different, each path is a path. There are those souls who decide completely on physical suffering, they decide that they are going to suffer, that they need to suffer a lot physically, so that they can learn the lessons for something they did. I've already commented on this here, that this often doesn't work, because as you forget why you are going through that, instead of learning your lesson, you rebel, and then you end up taking on more problems than solutions. So this is not recommended by the karmic councils, because they know that this does not work, but the soul also always continues, even while not incarnated, to have free will. So it's like that was a big lesson for her too, in which she will incarnate, she will suffer a lot physically, and when she disembodies she will realize that it did not bring her any evolution, that she simply spent an entire incarnation suffering, and often I might even say, for nothing. Because she hasn't evolved at all. But it is the soul's decision, and all decisions are respected. We can also understand that souls dream, as I said, of being powerful souls, of being important souls, of being great souls, who make a difference on their planet. This is perfectly normal. So, within that script, a path is laid out for it to get there. Very good. No soul, I imagine in its vast intelligence, will say that it wants to come to power and then lose. Not all souls want to arrive and stay, but this will be the result of your actions, not your desires. Then we also have those souls, which we will put like this: let's make you think from another aspect. All souls disincarnate, light and non-light. What I told you, that the fourth dimension is 2 layers, in which the souls of light are received by beings of light, and go through the karmic board. Then I'm going to ask you a question: what about the souls of non-light? They also disincarnate and incarnate. What happens to them? Don't they have the right to have a karmic council to guide them? Give them a tug on the ear so they can return to the path of light? Of course they do. So although these souls are not worked on, studied, evolving, because they decided that way, they also go through a council, where everything is presented to them, the harm they are causing, giving them the chance for remission, for repentance. Then those souls are also received by the karmic council. No, there is not that judgment that has always been said to you, that if you are good, you will go to heaven, if you're bad, you go to hell. This doesn't exist. The soul goes where it resonates, that's all, but it has the chance to change, to evolve into the light. They all do. It is not because Alma once followed a tortuous path that she is condemned to live there forever. As has already been said to you. No, this does not exist. She is also interviewed, all the negative points are pointed out, so that she realizes the harm she caused, not just to others, but to herself, and she has the right to evolve, she has the right to go to the light, as long as repentance is done from the heart. Of course, that's what I've been trying to say here to you, my brothers. I'm telling the processes in the most simplistic way possible. Of course, not everything is so simple. There are many variants, but generally speaking this is what happens. But if this soul really regrets what it did, it will not simply be removed from the lower part of the fourth dimension, and is placed in the upper part and starts to incarnate as a good soul now. No, it's not that simple. She chooses to return to the light, very well, but she will go through a long period of improvement, until he incarnates again as a being of light. It's not just her saying, "Oh, I regret it. I want to go to the light." It goes into the light and no, it is analyzed and improved so that it can actually return as a soul of light, with positive feelings. I don't know if it's worth reminding you what a soul of light is and what a soul of non-light is. I already said this here. Nobody is 100% good, nobody is 100% bad. So it's not that when we say a soul of light, it's 100% positive feelings, no, it just resonates in the largest percentage of your existence, noble feelings, positive feelings. She has moments when she fails, when she resonates negative feelings, but they are not the end of her soul, the purpose of your soul. The purpose is noble feelings. When we say that it is a soul of non-light, it is the opposite, it's because she resonates bad feelings all the time, feelings of the worst possible vibrations, hate, revenge, malice, resentment, and all the other feelings resulting from these, but it doesn't mean that at one moment she never had a good feeling. It has and may have, but the negative part is bigger. So this is how souls are classified, to make it easier. So, there is the path of a soul, from non-light, passing into the light. But then there is that soul of light that says the following, "No, I want to continue being what I am. I like being what I am." Very good. Her wishes are respected. The soul is not imprisoned, because it is a soul of non-light. No, she will continue living, resonating those feelings, until one day she evolves. And that's how the world happens. Some souls, both light and non-light souls, many souls are predestined to have important roles in their world, to have representation in their world. Is this chosen by them? Many times, yes. Soul often wants to do something for a lot of people, she wants to be powerful, so she can help many at the same time. She chooses to be the boss of something, from big or small places, it doesn't matter, but so that it can act in a big way, for the benefit of the whole. Many think about doing good things. Just halfway through, some get lost. But that's another story, not part of what we're talking about here. Then these souls choose these roles. Very good. Other souls are chosen. What do you mean chosen? The soul has a path. As I already said, everything that happens to the soul is recorded in its Akasha, by the Akashic Masters. So the Karmic Council, the moment they do the interview with the soul, their Akasha is in front of them. They know everything that soul did, whether good or bad, it doesn't matter, their advice is given on what would be good for that soul, so that it evolves, of what it would be good for that soul to do so that it could evolve quickly. So in addition to some desires of the soul, there are also those that are guided, which are the perfect paths for that soul to follow, so that it can make leaps in evolution. Now, the soul accepts it or not. There is no obligation to do anything. I repeat again and I will always say this, you have free will. So it's up to you to accept such challenges or not. No, I don't want that. It's a lot of responsibility. I don't want. No, no, I prefer to continue my little, leisurely path. Excellent. Then the soul will continue its leisurely path, he will not take that leap that was presented to him. No problem at all. So this is why some souls stand out in your world. They are inventive souls, they are souls of arts, scientists, extremely intelligent souls, beyond their time. Everything you can imagine that is important for the evolution of your world. And over time, these souls were incarnated and their world evolved. So today, I want to talk about another aspect. Before talking about this, I want to finish the subject of souls of non-light. Of course, when they go through the interview, the Karmic Council knows everything they have ever done, and they are also fully aware of everything they are going to do, because that is already in the script of the film they are drafting. Then many may ask, but you couldn't have prevented that, they could not have prevented this soul from incarnating. Yes, that would be possible, but that's not how it works. You are free, and simply live what you choose, causing the consequences of what you chose. Understand, a lot of things change when you get to the middle, because you forget everything. That script remains like a soft memory. You forget a lot of things, but a lot of this script is passed on to the universe, and the universe begins to organize itself, to enforce what is in that script. So that's why things often come to you, things happen and you don't understand why, it's because that was already defined, that was already orchestrated by the universe. Very good. Then you incarnate, and here you forget a lot, forget everything that you decided to go through in feeling, because what you decided to go through within that script, as the evolution of the soul, so that there is an evolution of the planet and the whole, the universe is already organizing itself and making it happen. Unless, during this walk, you decide to take a shortcut very different from that path. So no matter how much the universe tries to make that happen, it becomes very difficult. And then you lose that chance that you chose to live and evolve. These shortcuts are part of the pitfalls of the medium. These are feelings that are caused by fear of the new, in which you prefer to follow the path and maintain that vibration, than trying to look for something new. So, where many times, you miss the opportunity to evolve, because you chose another path, different from the path of that script. Very good. When you let yourself be carried away by that script, everything you decided practically happens, practically runs, except in relation to feelings, because many times you decide that you are going to be happy, that's all you know, but you also choose paths that don't lead to happiness. Realize that you have two aspects, you have the evolution aspect of your own soul, as intelligence, in which you can do good for yourself and for the whole, and you have your evolution as feelings, of family, relationships, children, etc. There are two different paths. One may or may not interfere with the other, it depends on how you position yourself. So this is how it all happens. So back. I have 2 points to return to. Returning to the point I made yesterday, does the soul die at the right time? She dies within the time she set she should die. If she follows that script, if she takes some shortcuts, but small shortcuts, and always goes back to that script, everything will be fulfilled as it was defined, and she will die, or rather she will lose her clothes on the stipulated date, within the stipulated time. And the universe is responsible for enforcing that time. She decides whether she wants to die instantly, if she wants to die in her sleep, if she wants to die suffering, to end up paying something. Anyway, many things, many forms of death of the garment, not from the soul. So continuing the subject, and when a soul goes before its time. Does this exist? Exist. Yes, there is. Why? Because as I said here, you draw up a script, in that script that your soul drew up, she decided that she would die at the age of 80, or rather, she would die until all the vitality of her clothing was extinguished, did not specify age. When her outfit got tired of living she would leave. Very good. But this soul took very different paths, she made not very good choices, she made bad choices. So a soul here comes very close to negative feelings, she gets very close to those obsessions that surround her, those little friends who hang around her, disturbing her. So, if she took this shortcut and is not careful to maintain good vibrations, yes, she could not only be induced to take her own life, as you know, or be placed in risky situations, in situations that were not planned in that script, and in situations that could even break the human outfit. So in truth at this point, it is the destruction of human clothing, through accidents, of what your human clothing is not capable of supporting. Then the soul uncouples itself, because that outfit no longer has the conditions to survive. So this is where you say, that the soul was before time, that death was before time. So my brothers, everything is your choices. When you incarnated, you decided on a script that you would die at the end of your human guise, you did not set an age, that when your human guise could no longer take it, you would leave. This in normal situations would happen to you old people. But then you take that shortcut and get drugged, addicted, to all kinds of vices, drink, smoke, take drugs, they have a completely disorganized rhythm of life. This ends with your human carcass, with this human outfit, until there comes a point where she can't stand it. So how was your goal? His goal was to die, when his human outfit failed. Very good. Then your human outfit fails, and you disengage. So in this case you didn't die before your time, you died because it was defined like that, you decided that you would detach from your human outfit when it could no longer bear living in this world. But you imagined you would be old, when your cells couldn't take it anymore. But over time, through tortuous paths, you destroyed your human appearance, and it couldn't even survive old age. So, you uncoupled early. Was it a premature death? No, it was the death you had chosen, which the soul had chosen, but within unplanned time. So my brothers, there are thousands of situations. I would stay here counting many ways for you to die, how you talk. Many ways, and it depends a lot on the reference, whether or not it is happening before the stipulated deadline, of what you decided as Alma. Then there is another question, and if I, as Alma, decide to die in a certain way, I have no way to change that. For example, I incarnate, and I say, well, I want to die young. I don't want to get old. I want to die young. And then halfway through, I incarnate and keep thinking, something inside me knows that I'm going to die young, but I think, no, I don't want to die young, I want to live, I want to continue living. Is it possible for me to change this script, being incarnated? It's not impossible. Because I already said here that nothing is impossible. So this will be a very frank conversation with your higher self where you will say, no, I don't want to go early. I want to live. I don't know why I decided to go early, but I want to live. I want to stay here. And this will be taken to the karmic board by your higher self, and who knows, you might not deserve to gain some more time. So, yes, it is possible. It's not easy, it's not simple, because you don't really have the awareness that you asked to die early, but some people do. So yes, this could happen. Now returning to the other point that I left open, and to finalize the matters relating to the soul. Talking a little about the current era you are living in. Some of you came with extremely evolved connections, so that we could, through you, get our word out. Like the one you're talking about. She is not the only one, and there are not a few of them across the planet. There are many. Why were these souls chosen? Why did they come with this mission? Remember, no mission is imposed, it is a choice of the soul. So, it's as if at the moment, I'm going to cite the example of what you're talking about, at the moment of this incarnation. Just one aside. All the souls that are incarnated here now at this moment knew exactly this step that would happen on your planet. None were deceived. Closing it apart. So when she was about to incarnate, she was told, well, we have some very important missions on the planet for this era. And you, as Alma, have sufficient requirements for these missions, and her soul was presented with this mission, of channeling messages from beings of light from other dimensions. And she accepted. That's why she's here now, reproducing my speech, my energy. Like her, and others. Each one in their own way. So if you paid attention to what I said, the path of her soul was analyzed, and she had, as you usually call it, the prerequisites for this role, by her walk, by the walk of her soul. Her soul comes from Lemuria, is a Pleiadian soul, and at that time, she was a priestess, and she was one of the souls, who did not let themselves get involved in that whole process. She was one of those who realized that this was a wrong path, and she was summarily discarded. And during all her incarnations, she always maintained this objective, to be close to the heights. This is how she maintained herself, even with all the environment, modifying it, with all the suffering she went through, and there were many. Precisely because she always wanted to contest everything that was presented to her and that she was aware was not appropriate, she suffered a lot. She knows this. So she had the prerequisites to be here now, reproducing my energy. If you remember what I said yesterday, I said that at that time you talked to us easily, and we participated in the meetings. So, my connection with her is old, it's from that time, that's why she was chosen by me for this mission. And here it is. And each of the others who have this same mission, possibly, went through the same journey. They are here ready to continue what they always wanted, stay in the light. So here, we quickly finish what I could say about souls. How did you get to the point you did, on the wheel of samsara, and this path until today? Next week, we will start a new topic. No, I won't say which one it is, but it will be as interesting as this one. I hope you enjoyed. I am Archangel Michael. And I'm here, ready to listen to each one of you. Just call me, and I will definitely answer your questions.